Manfred and Jay at the back door of the supermarket. It was exactly 10 in the evening. Nobody saw us. We put the delicious stuff into our blue bags, at least 30 kilos each. We walked through that store while the staff cleaned the empty shelves. They gave us satisfied smiles as we went past the last customers in line without pay. Nobody asked questions. Nobody attracted attention. We calmly made our way outside and shared the yummy loot.
This is food sharing. Every day, thousands of volunteering food savers head out to pick up leftover food from supermarkets, bakeries, restaurants, or even events just like this one today. Here in Freiburg alone, over 1,000 kilograms of food are collected and distributed every single day. We initiated food sharing about 10 years ago with the joint vision to overcome food waste. And now it is growing faster than ever, with over 4,000 food savers just here in Freiburg. So, what about you? Do you also engage in volunteering? Please, raise your arms. Let me see your hands if you're involved in some kind of volunteering. Nice, very nice, amazing. Thanks a lot. And have you ever asked yourself the question, why you're doing volunteering? Millions of people engage in volunteering, literally more than every second person in Germany. But what makes this concept so attractive? And how could it be even more attractive? Perhaps it all boils down to the win-win story that Joni just explained about food sharing. Is it simply the share of free food that food savers get to keep after their pickup missions? Or is there more to it? Today, we would like to take you on a journey, on our journey of food sharing and why volunteering is sexy.
Let me take you back to the evening of July 13th, 2014. I'm pretty sure you all remember what happened that evening. Please raise your hand now if you do not remember what happened on this glorious evening of July 13th, 2014. If you do not remember, raise your hand now. So you guys remember? You can tell me? Or are you just lazy? I have to admit, Patricia just spoiled our talk a little bit. It wasn't planned or anything, but even if I'm not a big fan of saying everyone loves soccer, I guess you all remember the victory of the German soccer team in the World Championship that evening. I myself, in contrast, was facing the most critical breakdown that night. I just got thrown out of a fast food restaurant because I sat there for 2 hours eating leftover food from some celebrating folks. In the preceding weeks, I had lost 20 kilograms of weight. I had been running around for hours, switching off lights and heaters in my school and collecting trash wherever I found it. I wanted so eagerly to make my ecological footprint vanish from this world. It was my way to deal with the environmental situation we are facing right now. By the way, my mom still thinks that I have bought all those burgers to fix my underweight at that time and not to battle food waste. Sorry, Mom, that you have to hear that right now. I just tell you that right now. I promise I eat healthy nowadays. Suddenly, I realized what I had done wrong. I was not sharing my desire to change something in the world. I was trying to solve the riddle all by myself. I was suffocating under the weight of the world. But I learned to share that weight. By sharing my ideas and visions, I found the food sharing community. Together, we dived into a universe of battling food waste. That was me yesterday night. I guess in every volunteering context, you can find that feeling of belonging. I had it in many different organizations, and I can tell you, it's a damn sexy feeling.
But let's rewind a bit. Have you ever had this feeling of being overwhelmed, where you felt lost or even paralyzed when facing big problems, similar to Yoni's? For us, the connection to a community is an essential ingredient for successful volunteering. With that connection, you are able to share what you need. And ongoing challenges like questions of social justice or challenges like climate change may seem to be impossible to tackle alone. But the good news is, you are not alone. We are not alone. A joint vision quickly unifies and allows us to face such problems together. Volunteering relies on this community, and food sharing would not exist without collaboration. As an organizer of food sharing, I recently got this call from a local farmer, and he went straight to the point, asking me desperately whether we could pick up roughly 2,000 raw eggs within the next 2 hours. That's right, 2,000 eggs in 2 hours. It turned out that his labeling machine had run out of ink, which excluded these perfectly fine eggs from sale. But only a few calls later, we jointly organized bikes, boxes, and most importantly, volunteers to collect and distribute the fragile goods. The thing is, nobody knows exactly what will be happening next, and hence, our kind of volunteering relies on this high level of flexibility, which is realized by sharing our tasks. Nobody has to run the shop alone, and nobody has to pick up every day. We work in teams where each team is responsible for a certain cooperation. Pickups or shifts in the food sharing cafe are organized by open slots in a calendar where you may sign in whenever it's free and suitable for you. And it's absolutely fine if you're busy or even away for a longer time. You may rejoin anytime.
As a food saver, I can decide if I want to sign in for this pickup tomorrow or not. It's not all on me. I don't have to bake an omelet with thousands of eggs, even if I wish to do it. On the flip side, I have to be spontaneous. Often I will substitute if someone has to cancel in short notice. But that's worth it. While taking the shifts at the Foodsharing Cafe, I welcome the diversity of the visitors and all the extraordinary conversations I already have had there. All in all, it's so much fun being there every week, cooking something crazy out of whatever there is, such that I don't even realize I might do this voluntarily. It's like a massive HelloFresh box without any recipe.
But this flexibility, in turn, requires quite a lot of spontaneity on the side of our volunteers. And I personally regard this as a win, similar to Joni. For me, this spices up my everyday life by allowing for something somewhat unexpected to happen, to break the background monotony. We engage ourselves because we're curious. We like to explore, to discover something new. Volunteering is fun, and we would like to see everybody out there to awaken your interest. Are you ready? Woo! Will you join? Will you join our game? Volunteering? Quite literally may become addictive, like reading a great book, watching a TV series, or playing a computer game. Food savers, for instance, may keep track of their own statistics. How many times did I pick up already? How many kilograms of food have I saved? But the interesting point here is that it's not actually about the individual numbers. The most rewarding aspect is the immediate feedback that everybody receives every day. And in this way, we resonate and connect as a community. We literally thank each other by exchanging virtual bananas of trust.
Wow!
Woo! Or maybe even real bananas of trust. Very nice. As you can see, by volunteering, you may enter this loop of positive feedback, both giving as well as receiving compliments fulfills.
I started to be a player in this game. I'm free to choose the direction in which I develop my skill and the level which I play. That's why I decided to become a highly professional barista. As you can see, I'm doing some really nice latte art in the Foodsharing Cafe. In my opinion, being a barista is like drinking wine or playing saxophone. Kinda sexy. But it's not all about the game. It's the way we create volunteering as a fun and interactive challenge that gives me the feeling of belonging and identification. That's what matters. For example, if I go out and ask any food saver how a stereotypical volunteer in our business would look like, I promise you, they would come up with something similar to this. Okay, what do we have here? First of all, the magnificent Foodsharing ID.
And, of course, an unlimited amount of blue bags for food storage, one of our main trademarks.
And the B900 cargo bike. High Performance Edition.
And this requires, in turn, a helmet. Safety first.
And pastries to fill in empty stomachs.
And don't forget to bring your dumpster diving glasses for enhanced vision in the container.
And in the end, a banana, our symbol to amplify the voice of the ones that are left behind in the trash. But we extend our identities. We are dancers, we are rappers, we are runners, and we are friends.
But where do we go from here? What was our vision with food sharing? What is our responsibility? If in this particular case we want to overcome food waste, isn't the ultimate goal of food sharing to become redundant? But how do we get there? We both know that the backbone of any volunteering group are people who take responsibility. Without them, the entire food sharing system would not work. Pickups would not be coordinated, sharing stations would not get cleaned, and new food savers would not be trained. By taking responsibility, you are guiding the journey, you are leading the actions, and you are ensuring that the joint vision of your volunteering community is not lost. Responsibility is that last and highest level of sexiness.
It's a narrow aisle to see all the possibilities and consequences of my actions without always feeling obligated to do something. I learned how to take care of myself. But I also realized that I am within reach of what is happening next to me. I'm feeling like a child, waking up, realizing more and more how the world and all my actions are connected. It's a process that I'm going through. A process from unaware to aware, from being passive to being active.
Volunteering has its own scale of progress. And this progress for us is not about growth or money or cross-domestic products. Instead, much like playing an instrument or conducting research, we value our work based on its effects on society. You have the power to change the world, and volunteering is always within reach.
With food sharing, I found something that suits me. I hope that you guys will find something similar fulfilling for yourselves. No matter if it's about battling food waste, organizing a TEDx talk, or whatever it may be.
Win-win situations are sexy.
Community is sexy.
Flexibility is sexy.
Gamification is sexy.
Responsibility is sexy. And this is why volunteering is sexy.
Now go out and be sexy.